Hello, beautiful stars. Welcome to today's reading. So, as the title suggests, we will be looking into the state of the collective consciousness on this planet for humanity, and we'll see what Spirit's advices for where we are at. If you would like to jump straight to the reading or to the shuffling process, the timestamps will be in the description down below. But if you'd like to stick around in this intro for a little longer, we're going to scribe for our spirit form and message with these brontosauruses today, and then this tree of life. All right, so let's get started with that. Yes. Okay, and we'll take a little bit of our lapis lazuli sand here. This did not quite burn fully yet, so give this a moment here. I hope you are doing well today, beautiful stars. Let's see what's going on in the world and what Spirit's advice for us is. Okay, and we'll do a little incantation to focus our intention here. So, Guardians of Source Divine, your wisdom we now seek. Your guidance in this moment please provide, and the forms through which you speak. Okay, so already I'm seeing a turtle. And the message for that is connection between the 3D world and into the 5D world, the spiritual world, or our next level of advancement. But what they're also telling me is there's kind of an intermediary passageway, as if the turtle is like a like a ferryman, kind of helping guide us from the 3D realm into the 5D vibration. There's a bit of a middle way here to guide us, whether it's in forms of, yeah, they're saying spiritual guides, even regular daily guides. I'm not quite sure what that means. What do we have for clarification of spirit? Kind of like yogis, I suppose. I mean, the okay, they want to remind us the only power, the true power, is in yourself, right? So whenever you hear a guide or anybody, remember to check in with your higher self, your intuition, to source, and your spirit guides, to confirm or deny anything you hear, or to clarify anything you hear, even this message, right? But if you're finding that it's difficult to transition, um, to focus on spirituality, to focus on your path, your ascension, your development, then seek guides of higher vibration, whether it's your spiritual guides, your higher self, or source directly. Okay, yeah, that's one of the main forms. Are there any other forms you would like us to know? Okay, so either a little canary or a little hummingbird, which to me associate direct connection to the light, to source. So yeah, a lot of intermediaries and guides, whether it's the turtle or the canary or the no, they're saying more hummingbird, not so much canary, just that little petite form. Um, okay, so that's that's saying the guides come in various forms. I mean, in forms of different sizes and whatnot. But yeah, if you feel it's hard to work on spirituality or just development or following your soul purpose, then seek out guides. Okay, I think that's all the form. Yeah, that's all the forms we have. Perfect. All right, so now let's get into the reading. Okay, lovely stars. So in the shuffling process, we're going to be looking at the energies and what forms the cards want to take shape in. All right, so Spirit, we're asking what's the state of the collective consciousness and what is your advice for us in this moment? Let's see. We'll start with our oracle. How many? Okay, 2 cards from oracles here. So let's do that. And it was a very exciting energy before I started this reading, lovely stars. So I'm really curious to see what Spirit wants to say in regards to where our collective state of consciousness is right now. One more shuffle, please. Thank you. 2 or 3, Spirit? Well, let's see. 2 as a guide to start. So let's see. 2. Can we get 2 cards from this oracle, please? Yeah. So 1 and 2. Do we need a third? Nope. Okay. So those are for our oracles. And let's start with the Norman or Tarot. Spirit wants to go with Tarot first. Okay. All right. So where is the state of our collective consciousness, and what is your advice for us, Spirit? Okay. 5 shuffles. And how many cards shall you have? 6. 5, 6. 3. Okay, a lot of stuff going on. At least in the message via the tarot, which we'll see in a second. I am really curious to know what Spirit wants to say. Okay, so 6 from here, please. 1, 2. So we'll take this one, and then 2 more here. All right, what is the collective state of consciousness? Oh, okay. Bit of yeah, the excitement energy is still there. We'll take that as 6. Okay, and a lot more want to come from the tarot, but we will use it for clarification if we need to. All right, how do you want this, Spirit? Okay, actually, we want this first. You know, yeah. Okay, Spirit, well, first, second, third. Oh, okay. 4, 5, 6. Yes, we want it out this way. This pertains to this most likely, and this pertains to this. Okay, and let's look at our Lenormand. What shape or form do you have for our Lenormand, Spirit? A teapot? Okay, that's interesting. Right, so for our Lenormand stars, we will have a teapot. The teapot will be going this direction. So the spout would be here, the body's here, and the handle's here. Okay, how many cards do you want for that, Spirit? 3 or 5? Okay. Oh, okay. Got it. Since these Lenormand cards are ginormous, the Spirit does want... No, Spirit wants 1 for the spout, 1 for the lid, 1 for the body. No, 2 for the body, and then 1 for the handle. Okay, cool. All right, so let's take that in that order. We want a teapot. I'm almost reminded of Mrs. Potts from Beauty and the Beast. We're taking the first one. This would be our spout. No, this would be our handle. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. All right. Where do you want me to go next? The spout. Yes, this would be the spout. Okay, let's put this in a little bit. And let's see. We want the lid. Interesting. And we want 2 for the body. Where's that one? No, don't take that one. Take this one. Okay, perfect. So we'll have to, let's see, arrange it this way. You know, we're going to go this way. Yeah. So we'll go with handle, lid, body, lid, spout. Got it. Thank you, Steve. Okay. All right, we'll leave that a little bit and we'll review that after we do our oracle and tarot readings here. And last but not least, two inspirational messages. Okay, from our Starseed deck here. Well, this one, okay, and that didn't take long. All right, what is your advice for a spirit? This one, but I want to know. Okay, that's good. All right, so we're gonna go with those two for our ending. Wow, okay, the message is already coming through, but yeah, we're gonna save that for the end. And let's go ahead and get started on our reading. All right, lovely stars. So let's start with this oracle here. What is the state of the collective consciousness and what message you have for us, Spirit? Yes, a higher view. 41. Yeah, that number is popping out. And okay, something is birthing. A higher view. Okay, so a lot of light workers and star workers carrying messages from the light here, as we can see in the third eye. Oh, this has been rearranged. Prearranged. Much longer than we think already. Yeah, the evolution of our planet and our consciousness here. This project, so to speak, for this planet has been a long time in its blueprint, in its development. And it's going to be all the light workers and the star seeds that will be carrying forth this growth, the shift into the fifth dimension. Okay. That's why we were getting earlier in our scrying about the intermediary being of all sizes, all different colors and shapes. Yes, we got the turtle and the hummingbird and canary, but it's the star seeds and the light workers that will help us ascend and shift into the fifth dimension from the 3D. Yes, that will come in various forms. That will be kind of the bridge in between, because it's difficult to jump from 3 to 5 for some people, or for a good number of the population, without some sort of intermediary. That's why 4 and 1 is also coming through here. 4 as the guides, both on the higher realms and on this 3D realm, and 1 with a connection to all. It's what's going to be brought out, going to be lifted, going to help humanity and the collective consciousness shift. Okay, thank you, Spirit. And yeah, these wings guiding light, a lot of intermediary, a lot of um, what's coming through right now, Spirit. A lot of not projects. Okay, project is perhaps one thing. A lot of projects coming out, but also at the same time, a lot of um, okay, yeah, they keep on pointing towards projects, but okay, so we'll leave it at that. Okay, a lot of yeah, a lot of starseeds and lightworkers doing a lot of projects to help humanity evolve. Okay, yeah, we do not want to stray from that word project, so okay, we'll stick with that. And yeah, let's look at this energy next. Okay, willing release. Okay. Oh, that's cute. Interesting. So we have 4-1 and we have 4-9. 2 fours, 3 fours is guidance from spirit. 9 and 1 brings us back to 1, um, which is also connection to all. But yeah, so this little butterfly here, it's like the spirit guides, right? A lot of feathers here too coming through, a lot of guidance from the celestial realm or from the higher realms. And all these dandelion seeds, each one of them, it's a star seed popping off. They're all starting to make their ascension. Um, and as we can see right now, Spirit's pointing out, a lot of them, yeah, a lot of people are still kind of attached in the 3D vibration, and that's okay, right? Because we are making that shift. There are some already making the shift into the higher ascension, into the 5D realm, and that comes out in various ways, right? It's um, ascension to me doesn't necessarily mean you ascend out of this world and go somewhere else or do something else. It certainly can mean that. Yes, thank you, Spirit. Yes, it certainly can mean that, but it also means following your life purpose, your soul mission, creating what you came on this planet to do, to help raise this vibration, raise this uh, frequency, in order to help all the other seeds awaken and bring forth the light as well. Um, Very neat. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Let's get into the tarot clarification for this, which is what Spirit wanted first. And then we'll go to our Lenormands, and then we'll complete it with, or we'll finish off with our starseed messages here. All right, so let's see what we have for this card. The Seven of Pentacles. Okay. Distilling, refinement. Um, Interesting. Okay, that's beautiful. Yeah, it's it's like here, spirits. It's watching this process very closely, right? It's like I said earlier, this project, this planet, this evolution of this planet that's going on. It's an experimentation to see the potential of how we can rise. Why do I see the curtain closing, Spirit? It's closing of chapters of the past. Okay. Oh wow. Okay. Um, so a lot that has happened in the past on this planet. Um, you know, all the karma, the wars, everything, the progress, the growth. It's almost as if with the beginning process of the evolution and the raising of the vibration and frequency is as if the curtains has closed on all of those nuances in the past. It's like we're starting a whole. brand new project in at the same time that the current project is going on. So the current project is basically humanity through its evolution and development, and a lot of of development are stacked upon that, right? It's like history goes through this phase, and then the next generation builds upon that phase, and the next generation builds upon that generation, so on and so forth. It's almost like they're showing me here like dominoes. It's like one after the other, but it's almost like we're introducing a whole brand new generation, new game here. It's like, no, we don't have to follow domino one by one, because that's a certain momentum that pushes us in a certain way. But no, we're gonna introduce something quite different. It's like, okay, here's all the dominoes falling one generation after that, and I'm gonna put a ball here. We're gonna put a um, I don't know, a water bath, something quite different. We're gonna put a chemistry set project here, and it's distillation of um, it's almost like extracting it in terms of raising the vibration of the collective consciousness on this planet. We're introducing new elements. Yeah, that's what they want to say. Introducing new elements into the current experiment. So the current experiment, yeah, it's all that history that we talked about. It's this planet where it's at right now. But now we're putting like that brand new ball in between all the dominoes, right? It's a whole new paradigm. It's a whole new. I see a lot of different consciousness um, being distilled to create something else. It's evolution of the collective consciousness on this planet doesn't have to be so. Help me out here, Spirit. What's the word? The structure. It can be a lot more serendipitous, like a chemistry experiment. You expect certain values, you expect certain results. It's like, oh, if humanity goes through this kind of crisis, it'll probably come out this way. That's a very methodical, empirical is the word they're using. Very empirical process. It's like with certain results, I mean, with certain data and experimentation, you expect a certain result. And of course, you test to see how that would fare or how it would fan out, whether it does or doesn't. But now we're going like, no, let's throw this element in, let's throw that element in, and see what develops from that. Wow, exciting. Okay. That's enough for that message at the moment. So let's see what's next. We have the Ace of Pentacles, lot of Pentacles, which is the energy, focus, and creation here too. It's nexus is the word they're using. It's source light here. It's like a focal point of different elements. We have again different elements bringing forth something brand new, something miraculous is the word they're using. Wow, amazing. And I'm also being noted by this tattoo here on this person's arm. What is that about, Spirit? This looks like a little elf. Some sort of element of magic in there. If you're an elf, pop a comment down below. Would love to hear from you watching this reading. But yeah, now different elements. Yes, different elements working synchronistically with each other to create something spontaneous and new. And that's what we have here too. Okay. All right, and let's look at the last card here. Two of Wands. Okay. Ah, okay, interesting. Huh. So, two things from this card. So we have two ships here in the background. Hope you can see that. One is almost looks like it's from the old world, is what I'm getting. One is from the new world, that's a bit more illuminated here. um, and it's like the message is it's like the old world, which is the old paradigm we talked about, right? The dominoes. And then the new world, which is like the introduction of the new element, the ball, is about to clash. It's the old world and the new world is about to merge or clash into each other. And you can see that a lot of people are oblivious to it. They're okay. Well, okay. What they're saying is there's a handful that are aware, yes, but then a good portion of the world of the collective consciousness is unaware of it. It's like, and they were pointing out a lot to me about this man reading this book here, getting information, getting knowledge. Perhaps that's why they're so unaware and lost, is what they're saying. Yeah, so the collective consciousness where we're at, a lot of people are just going, okay, they're going through their drudgeries, their daily routines, so on and so forth. But a good portion of them want to learn, to grow, to evolve, right? But they don't know um, who or what to listen to, what paradigms work, what tools work. Okay, I'll relay that in soon enough, that's spirit. Um, but yeah, as the world is about to collide here, the old and the new world, or if we think of it, the shift from 3D to 5D, as those two merge, because it's going on right now simultaneously, right? It's like we have the 3D paradigm, we have the 5D paradigm. And they're gonna merge, or they're gonna shift, they're gonna raise this vibration, they're gonna clash, they're going to meld, they're going to mix. And people are confused, they're lost, they don't know, so they're scrambling, looking through. In this card, he's looking through books. But what it means in practical terms is people are trying to find wisdom and answers in all forms and different sorts of people or places. And what they want me, what the guides and spirit wants to remind is that the highest direct connection you have is to your higher self and to source. So a reminder back to what we said earlier. I think it was in the smoke scrying, but yeah, when you hear something, when you see something, and you're dubious about it, question it. It's just like the Buddha says, like, don't take my teachings as word, or at its words. I'm majorly paraphrasing here, but question it for yourself. So when you hear an idea or a thought, or something you read in a book, or something you see in the news, or something you see, on social media, that includes this reading, right? Tune into your intuition and your higher self to source if you have to, and question it. Is that, does the message sound clear, sound of higher vibration? Do I resonate with it? And if I don't resonate it, what about it that is not resonating or in sync with me? Yeah. Okay. They're also pointing out that some of you watching this video are having difficulty with that aspect, and that's completely okay. That's exactly where we're at, right? We're at this process where the result hasn't come about yet. So, and in that process of transformation and change, if anybody's here has worked in chemistry lab or taken chemistry as a course, you know that when you're doing your experimentation, it can be challenging, tedious at times, especially if you screw up one variable. I don't want to segue too much, but yeah, it can be challenging when you're shifting and when you're hearing different opinions, especially if it's not something you're accustomed to hearing. That's why, okay, yeah, they want to reiterate, question it. It's like, oh, somebody said this on a podcast, somebody said this on YouTube. Um, does that sound like it's reasonable? Like it makes sense? Like, is it words of wisdom or is it just kind of hogwash? Um, and if and and also they're reminding us to not immediately refute or refuse whatever you hear. Um, there's the there's the magic that lies within. It's the ability to be open and to question it first before you reject it. It's like that saying, um, is it try it before you buy it? Is that the one, Spirit, that you want? Okay, we'll go with that one. But it's more like, yeah, try it before you buy it. So when you hear something, whether on the news, podcast, YouTube, another source, where you read it in a book, and if you like it, if it resonates with you and it makes sense and it sounds like it's from true source and wisdom and truth, then yeah, buy it, go for it. And if not, it's like, oh, this is just somebody blabbing on a podcast where it's insubstantial, where they're just perhaps trying to sell a product, then just let it go. Okay. Let's move on to these cards, because that's a cap on that message. So we have the Devil. How appropriate with willing release here. Yeah, this card always reminds me as if like these two people are like in a fog, in a haze, in an addiction of sorts. It's like wherever they're sourcing from that feeds their temptation, their desires, their ego, it's keeping them in a haze. I mean, it provides them some sort of stimulus, right? Whether it's comfort, whether it's excitement, you name it. It comes from a source that keeps them attached and linked to it. But what they don't realize, perhaps, or what they refuse to see, because we're talking about willing release here. And sometimes it's by choice too that we hang on to the things that give us that crutch or that we're addicted to, even though it seems comforting. We know it's detrimental to us in some form or way. Okay. Okay, so we have the Six of Wands. Okay. It's not an easy challenge. It's not an easy challenge, is what I hear. Yes, the angels are guiding you. Your spirit guides are there. You can see the generations before who have succeeded, who have mastered their ego, have mastered their shadow selves, have mastered their karma, so on and so forth, you name it. They become masters of themselves. Being able to reach their higher self, to reach into wisdom, into truth, into virtues that allow them to go beyond this limited realm, to ascend to greater heights, or to shift from 3D to 5D or even higher dimensions, right? But they're really pointing me out with this floating head here. It's the ego or the devil. It's really strong. It's really addictive. It's really difficult to overcome. That's why there's such great celebration for masters and people who have ascended. um, and the people here too, yeah, they're cheering for them, yes, but they are also, this is where like the lay people are, the masses. um, and then here we have where we are, right? We're working on our development, our spiritual advancements, our evolution to shift with Gaia and her vibration. But the main thing they want to get out of this message is it's not easy. It's quite challenging. It's quite difficult. So that's why there's no judgment when it comes to this, because it's a choice whether we are willing to release it or not. That is up to us. Those who are willing to release the control, the power games, the mind games, the victim games, they are able to ascend, and being in other states of bliss and can help others ascend too. But those who choose to stay in the stagnated energy, in their ego, in their power games, will have a more challenging time, because it already is challenging as it is whenever we're working with our ego, and we see our faults, our unconscious shadow selves, or things that we neglect, or things that we have to work on. Okay, we're not going to be at that point there, but basically, I think you get the message. It's not easy to work on our ego, but the reward, the advancement, and the growth is phenomenal. Yeah, that's a good word for it. The alchemy, the change, the transformation you can have when you choose to work, to raise your vibration, for the betterment of the collective consciousness, it's phenomenal. But we do have free will and choice here, and there's no judgment. So whatever you choose to do, it's up to you. And some people are smirking at that because it sounds so cliche, but it's true. Which is what they want to convey to. All right, let's look at our last card here. King of Cups. Okay, well, in addition to the King of Cups, this King of Cups is quite interesting because it almost reminds me of the King of Wands here too. So he's not only the King of Cups, he's not only the master of his emotions, he is the master in connection with Source Divine, with angels and guides and greater beings, or just his spiritual connection in general, or having an intuitive sense, or knowing his purpose, what he wants to do in life, what he wants to be passionate about. And yeah, that's a very masculine energy is what they remind me of. To yeah, okay, hold on. So let's looking at the backing for this deck real quick, and it's a dragon, right? Dragon energy is very transformative, in terms of my experience with it, and they're pointing out. I keep on saying he, even though energy, when we talk about the tarot here, it's both feminine, because it includes everybody, right? And aspects of ourselves too. So both our feminine energy and our masculine energy. But they're pointing out very strongly with the masculine energy, with the dragon energy, it's about change. It takes that kind of, whereas feminine, it's more emotive. The masculine energy is more assertive, and it takes that kind of energy to shift and change things, especially when working within ourselves. Yes, they're also reminding me that there's, yes, you can go about the way of shifting via emotive, via feminine energy too, but it may take a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, you can go about that way. Let's just acknowledge that. But also, um, for the majority, perhaps, um, where the divine masculine energy has been distorted, it needs to be brought back into balance to really conquer your ego, your demons, and your temptations in order to shift and to fully grasp your connection with spirit here, with the King of Wands, and also to master your emotions with the King of Cups. Because he's sitting amidst all these crazy turbulent waves, but he is, as you can see here, very calm, collected, and composed. The three C's. Don't know. Okay, that might be for somebody. Maybe some of you have acronyms for three C's, but calm, composed, and collected. All right. So that speaks to the willing release aspect. Excuse me. And we talked about the higher view aspect in terms of how the collective conscious has been shifting since way back in the past, in its conception of this planet, even. All right, let's go to Lenormand. So we have our teapot here. So in the shuffling process, if you did not watch that, stars, we got the form that spirit wanted to come through for the Lenormand here, and it's a teapot. So we have this card here as our handle, and then we have the two cards here as our pot body. Then we have the lid, and then we have the spout. Okay, let me scoot this up a little bit just to make sure you can see. Okay, so let's see what we have for our handle. Les trois petites souris. So this is the mice card in Lenormand. Okay, and with Lenormand, we're going to read it in relation to each other, but we'll see what intuitive hits we get here from each card as well. Okay, this is similar to the devil message here, eating away, reduction of ourselves. But okay, let's look at our body for the teapot. We have La Trave, the dream catcher, or in this case, the bouquet. Dreams flourishing. Okay, we'll see what that means in a second in relation to all the other cards. Next we have La Faux, which is the scythe. Oh, interesting. We have flowers here too. Okay. Sacrifice. That's coming through. Okay. And next we have Le Poisson, which is the fish or fishes. That's an interesting message for the fish. Okay. Interesting. It's about the treasures we hold within our hearts, but we don't go diving deep for it. We're just staying on the surface. And so far, they're only pointing out number 34 here. So if you find that significant or resonating in a way, then do claim the message. Okay, and for our spout, so that's our lid. Yeah, And then for our spout here, we have the Clarus, or the rider. Interesting. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, let me scoot this up so you can see everything. Lovely stars. Okay. Wow, what a message. Okay, so as we mentioned already, it's a teapot, right? Um, the handle is what we hold on to. Um, and what we've been holding on to, how it falls right here over the devil and the ego parts. We're holding on to things that we're not willing to release, we're not willing to let go, and it eats at us. It's like, yeah. For example, we'll point this out here: victimization, victim games. For those who are hanging on to victim games, um, it's going to eat away at them, because what, like we mentioned, there's nothing wrong with the games we play here, but the rule of the universe, at least in terms of this universe, is that there are actions and there are consequences, right? So you are free to do whatever you want. If you want to play the Starseed game, there will be results from that. You come as a Starseed, you or you want to be a light worker, you want to be a healer, there are results from that. If you want to play a victim, that's okay too. There's no judgment to what you want to do, but be ready to heed the consequences that comes with whatever choice you choose, right? um, yeah, I don't need to go too much into that, but they want me to give one more example, and it's the example of picking a rose from a rose bush. The rose is beautiful and you know you want it, but you risk the chance of prickling yourself with the thorns when you pick that rose, if you don't have gloves or whatever. Um, so yeah, there are actions and there are consequences. You can still go for the rose. You want to pick it, go for it. It's like, if that's what you want, then go for it. But you know very well that there's a chance that you might prick yourself. So for those who want to play the victim game, as an example here, um, it's, you can play the victim game if you want. It's like, oh, everything else is the world's fault. Like, I'm always right. People are always out to get me. That's the victim game, right? And if you want to play that, that's okay. But be aware of the potential consequences that will come with it. And the potential in that example, the potential consequences in that example is that people are going to move away from you. They're going to alienate themselves from you, because victimization, um, when it's used manipulatively, is not going to bring any fruitful results. It may work for a little while, but inside it's going to eat at you. It's going to eat at your relationships with other people. Um, so, yeah, just be aware, those listening to this message, you have the free will to do whatever you want, whatever game you want to play. Um, but just be aware of whatever game you want to play has consequences, and think about those consequences. And those consequences are not necessarily bad, right? If you want to be a healer, then you have the appreciation of your community, so to say. So it's neither good nor bad. It's just that this card speaks more in terms of in terms of the handle of the teapot, it's for those who are hanging on to games that are not serving you, and that's preventing you from shifting into higher vibration. And let's go next to the body of the teapot here. So we're going to take these two cards together. And we're talking about dreams that we're cutting away. Or more so, what's the better way to put that? In relation to the gifts that are given to us when we incarnate into this planet, as indicated by the bouquet here, our soul mission, our purpose. We're also cutting away from that, or eating or lessening away from that, when we're reaping or harvesting our so-called karma. We're talking about choices and consequences again. Let's say, for example, you come on this planet to do a certain goal, or you have a passion in this life, or a goal that you want to receive. I want to be a photographer, or I want to be, yeah, that's coming through for some of you. I want to be a photographer, I want to be a scientist, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a massage therapist. But if you're not in alignment with your goals and your gifts, your natural gifts and talents on that path, on that process, what you reap is what's going to be different than what you sow, depending on the process that you put into it. So let me not be so nebulous and put this in more concrete terms. Say, for example, you want to be a photographer, but you're putting all your resources or your time or your development, devotion into a different thing. Say, like, maybe like you like to play games, and instead of pursuing your passion, your dreams of photography, you're spending, I don't know, 16 hours playing some video games online. And that's okay, right? It's all free will. But what happens, it eats away at you. It's like, I feel so tired all the time. I'm not getting enough sleep because, like, I'm so addicted to this game and I'm not getting my photography done. It eats away at what your true gift and your passion is. Maybe you have a natural knack for like capturing like light and shadow and essence and stuff like that in a picture at certain angles that is magnificent, but here you're up at night playing games or something like that. Random example. But yes, so the message is, especially with this, with our lid here, on the teapot, is that the treasures and the talents you have are not being honored. The gifts you have are not being honored, so it's just wasting away. It's like a treasure that has sunk into the bottom of the ocean, and these fish here, because usually in Lenormand, the fish signifies, abundance, wealth, treasures, so on and so forth, something rich, fulfilling to you. But here, excuse me, it's at the depth of the ocean, not being recognized, not being acknowledged. And we're talking in terms of your gifts and your talents here. That is the topper here, the cap for our message. And we'll get to this soon enough. But we'll get to the spout here soon enough. But what happens, the second message they want me to relay from this card is that, when I see these fish, at least in this reading, they seem very apathetic, so to speak. It's like they're just going about their daily lives. We're talking about that drudgery that we did earlier in the reading. It's like people are just going about their daily lives, their normal lives, not really doing what they're passionate about, maybe because they are burying themselves in ego, in games, in yeah. So and with some people, like it might be challenging, right? It might be difficult to express their gifts if they have like a 9 to 5 job, for example. When they get home at the end of the day, maybe they just want to lounge out and watch TV or play games and not really work on their art, on their photography, on their music, whatever they're passionate and talented about. So that's understandable. But somewhere along the way, we have to take the higher view, right? What makes us passionate? What makes us happy? What makes us feel fulfilled? Um, it's like they get home at 95 after a 9 to 5 job, and they're like, okay, maybe I'll put in an hour, or maybe I'll put in like 15 minutes to work on my music. Um, yeah, but instead, we have choices. So it's like instead of saying, oh, I'll just watch Netflix for 2 hours and binge this show because I'm so tired. Um, it's all by choice, and just like here, yeah, it's all by choice, and the advice is to bring forth your gifts and talent to bring forth that treasure that you are here to create on the planet, to shift the collective consciousness, because we reap what we sow. Okay, now let's get to our final part of the teapot, which is our spout. And we have the rider here. So it's interesting because the direction of this rider is going this way. In the Norman, I don't always take this. I just take it as spirit relays it to me, right? And in this reading, the directionality of this rider does matter. Because usually when you think of a teapot, you want to pour liquid out from the spout and say into a cup or something. But here the spout is right here, but the rider is looking this way. What Spirit's pointing out here, so the rider in relation to our gifts, our dreams, ideally would be to express our gifts and dreams. But we already talked about how we're hiding it away, we're playing power games and victim games and stuff like that eats away at us. So I don't need to reiterate that. But what I do want to point out here, or what Spirit wants to point out, I should say, is that some of you, or some of the collective consciousness, perhaps some of you listening to this message as well, but some of the collective consciousness is actually very compassionate. What I see here is this little companion with the rider, with the girl here. It's her little cat, her petit chat. She doesn't want to move forward and abandon or forget her little friend here, right? She's taking her friend along in the basket there. So this speaks to a very compassionate nature of those on the planet, of the collective consciousness, who are not perhaps proceeding or shifting as quickly as, not that there is a certain speed revolution. Well, maybe there is, but don't. Yeah, we're not going to speak of that right now because the planet is changing and shifting a lot. So it is moving rather quickly, and whether you can keep up or not, yeah, there is a sense of urgency actually, it's not the right word. A sense of, um, I guess you can say, speed there too. You want to see some sort of advancement or check marks, checkpoints in terms of the development as we shift into the vibration. But this is a very compassionate message here because the writer's going this way, and instead of the tea or whatever's in the pot is pouring out this way, it's being prevented because she's very compassionate. She wants to bring her companion along. And for the collective conscious, what that means is there are people or groups of people who are not advancing or shifting um, very quickly, perhaps because I mean, perhaps because consciously they're not shifting so quick because they want to bring their companions with them, say their family, friends, people they care about. They want them to come along with them. It's like that's where it's very compassionate because they're saying it's almost reminds me of the bodhisattvas um, in the Buddhist tradition, right? It's like they take a vow to not reach enlightenment until all beings reach enlightenment. And it's a very compassionate thing to do. It's like, well, I don't want to move in a more practical term. It's like, oh, I receive this great amount of abundance or money, for example. This is just an example. And they're like, well, I don't want to move into a new house that's a lot bigger unless, you, my family, and friends are coming with me. So there are those on the planet who are not wanting to shift, perhaps consciously and willingly, because they want to bring their loved ones with them, or um, until they see the collective consciousness shift and rise all together. And that is the very compassionate and altruistic, almost kind of because altruistic is the right word that they're telling me, because they're not necessarily foregoing, they're postponing their ascension and their elevation, or that's not the right word. We'll just call it ascension. they're postponing their evolution and growth because they want others to come along with them, which is wonderful. All right, that's what we have for the Lenormand, and let's cap it out with our starseed inspiration messages here. Okay. And actually, I want to speak to here real quick about these images. So we have star seeds here coming to this planet to help its growth and evolution, and all the beings on that planet as well. So wanted to convey that first, but let's see what message Spirit has here. Release. Release anything that keeps you from your path of authenticity. We have synchronicity and confirmation here with willing release. So, yes, they are encouraging us, the Spirit's encouraging us to release things that keep you bound and tethered in a haze, to what's not serving your purpose, not serving your talents, not serving your passion. Yeah. And let's see what starseed. I can't. The synchronicity is amazing. So starseed, raise the vibration of the planet through your radiant, loving light. And that's exactly what we've been talking about here. The only two cards we picked from this deck it's what we've been talking about: star seeds and raising vibration shifting consciousness, and ascension. So let's, yeah, we'll quickly recap. So that was the main message today, lovely stars, in terms of what's going on with the collective consciousness right now. I think people are being tethered to, power game, ego games, their ego primarily, things they don't want to let go of, that it's eating at them, and therefore it's dampening their talent, their passion, what they want to do, and keeping them from ascending and evolving. And for those resonating, with the path of the star seed, the light worker, the healer, so whatever name you want to give it, will be the intermediary that helps along the way here. Like this girl, she's the intermediary, right? She doesn't want to leave those who are caught in those games behind. And for those, they're speaking directly to the star seeds and the light workers and the healers out there. Go forth and do your amazing work, your gifts and your talents that have been given to you, your soul purpose, your mission. And for people who are just, say, more lay people, do what you're passionate about. If you're an artist, go be the best artist you are. If you're a massage therapist, go be the best massage therapist you can be. But in doing your work and in expressing the natural talents and gifts that you have, you will help other people in so many ways to shift and raise their vibration, and perhaps getting them out of this drudgery too that they're so caught up in. Yeah, because we have a lot of messages from both our smoke scrying earlier and in the cards here about helping people transition and shift into higher consciousness. Yeah. All right, so that was the message for this collective consciousness reading, lovely stars. If you found it insightful, feel free to hit that like button. If you want to see more messages in the future, hit the subscribe button. Share this message if you found it insightful. And hitting the like button will also share with others as well. But with that, yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day. Go forth, shine bright, develop your passions and gifts, and help others along the way. All right, with that, have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care, lovely stars.